You like that?
You fucking like that? Yeah, man.
Kirk Cousins.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. That totally reminds me of that Kirby Smart video. So seriously, I'm gonna send you that shit before. I'm telling you, man. Get you fucking psyched. Speaking of Georgia, man, that fucking defense.
Those Knicks gonna have a long week this week.
Woo, dude, they're averaging like 4.6 points a game,
Who's
and
that?
Georgia
Their
is
defense?
on defense. Yeah,
Wow.
and the next closest team is Penn State and Iowa, which played this week, and
Hmm.
they're actually like 7 to 10 points behind that. Like that shows you how fucking good uh, that Kirby Smart defense is, man. I'm psyched, dude. They're so fucking good. Um, I don't know, man. I think they may be able to beat Bama this year. If this is the year they're going to do it, this is it.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yep.
we, I was thinking a couple weeks ago, I was like, Bama, someone might be able to beat them this year, but I don't know, man. It might be
Well,
the day.
they'll have two chances to do it because they'll play in the SEC final and then they'll play again in the
Yeah,
playoff.
and I hope they one of them don't lose. I really want to see them play. I really do. But welcome back. I know we didn't get to talk last week. I want to talk some WVU with you. We'll talk some NFL bets as well, and you actually picked a couple of college games too. Um,
Yes, sir.
so, real quick, what are your feelings going into Baylor for W to win? How do you feel about that game?
Well, last week was a major disappointment. Um, I think whenever you come off two emotional games like Virginia Tech, that win, and then going at Oklahoma and losing like they did after two emotional games like that, it was just a huge flat spot for West Virginia. And man, did they look flat. I mean, we have 0 points at half versus a team who just gave up 70 points the previous week. It was pretty disappointing. They looked like a totally different team in the second half, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough after getting in that hole. Um, as far as this week goes, West Virginia is only +3 at Baylor. You got a 2-3 West Virginia team going at Baylor, who's 4-1, and West Virginia is only a 3-point dog. I believe it's moved down to 2.5. West Virginia is going to win the game money line. They're going to win the game straight up. Baylor's got BYU on deck. They have Texas at home on deck. I think those games may mean a little bit more to Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor's going to be flat in this spot, and West Virginia is going to win the game straight up.
Okay. Well, I think I saw West Virginia's 6-3 versus Baylor all time, and of those three losses, they are 1-3 in Waco in those games. So, I mean, I think this is a big game for WVU. I think you almost have to win it, and ultimately too. I think there's going to be at least a one loss. I think every team in the Big 12 is going to at least have one loss. I really do. So if you want to get to Dallas and you want to compete, for the Big 12 championship, I don't think it's out of the question just yet. But I feel like you have to win this game, regardless. I mean, because Baylor's probably going to be up there. You still got to play Texas. You still got to play Kansas State. So, I mean, you still got to play Iowa State as well. So I don't think it's out of the question just yet. But that offense is going to have to help that defense out. That defense can only do so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I think they finally kicked it in the third quarter last week. But, I mean, if the offense can just make some plays, I mean,
Neil Brown's seat is pretty hot right now.
you think?
I mean, it's warming up. I mean, I don't think they're going to fire him, and I don't think they should fire him. But he's
Mm-hmm.
feeling pressure right now, and he was truly embarrassed last week, as he should have been, because that first half was just pathetic. But last time West Virginia went to Baylor was 2 years ago, 2019. Baylor was undefeated. West Virginia was a 21-point underdog, and they almost won the game. They should have won the game. They missed a field goal to go ahead, and they
Yeah.
ended up losing on a last-second field goal. But I don't think Baylor's quarterback is gonna throw on us. I think this defense is nasty. Brees Hall for Iowa State ran for 190 on Baylor 2 weeks ago. I think Letty Brown can get going, and I just think Baylor's going to be flat in this spot. And I expect West Virginia to be motivated off that embarrassing loss, and I think they'll bounce back.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
hate putting money on West Virginia, but this is just a spot that I'm going to take, and I'm going to live and die with it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think with how they played, I have to go with Baylor on this. But West Virginia is one of those. It's really a tough team to pick. It seems like you finally haven't figured out. You're like, oh man, after the Oklahoma game, I really felt like they were going to come out better. I think a lot of people did. I think that's why a lot of people were upset or disappointed is the word that I heard around a lot. But because I was seeing a bunch of stuff on Facebook, and I know you were as well. I know you. So how did you? Do you still feel the same way that you did on Saturday, or is it kind of simmered off a little bit?
I think you're only as good as your quarterback, and Jarrett Doege, man, he's not good.
No, he's
He's
not.
terrible. He's a statue in the pocket. He has no pocket awareness. I don't know how many times the guy's got to get hit in the back without and fumble the ball. Like he has no pocket awareness whatsoever. And it's just like I'd love to see Garrett Greene, but I'm not sure Garrett Greene. I'm not sure Garrett Greene knows the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And what bothers me the most is whenever we get in the red zone and we look at the sidelines, throw our hands in the air, waste 40 seconds off the play clock, and have to burn a timeout. I mean, if we have those timeouts at the end of the game, maybe they have a shot to get the ball back. But whenever you're just burning timeouts every time you get in the red zone, it's costly. We look unorganized. Our offensive coordinator is not good. I've preached it all year. I think we should go to Garrett Greene every time we get in the red zone and run the read option. They commit to Letty Brown. You read the defensive end, have Garrett Greene keep the ball running in. I think that's better. I mean, I don't know how many wide open end zone throws Jarrett Doege has missed. He had Letty Brown to win the game. He missed them off his hands. He had Bryce Ford Wheaton the week before. He threw it too high.
Mm-hmm.
And, it is frustrating because we are 2-3. If we have fucking Clint Trickett at quarterback, West Virginia could be 5-0 right now. They're not far away. I think that's what's most frustrating is they have a great defense. They're losing these games by the skin of their teeth every single game, and it's frustrating for sure.
Definitely, I think that's the word that a lot of people. That's the word I would have used is frustrating. I mean, the defense, has played great all year long. You take the picks away at Maryland, they win the game. I mean, you put some offensive plays together against Oklahoma. I mean, you're probably sitting pretty now. The Texas Tech game, if the offense shows up, and that's been the Achilles heel the entire year. So I think in order for them to fix it now, it goes back to Garrett Greene. If you were in charge, would you start him the rest of the year? Just what do you got to lose? You got nothing to lose. I would start him, but what would you do?
I think with Garrett Greene, I think since we have this 4-star recruit coming in, he doesn't want that kid to decommit thinking Garrett Greene's going to be the guy next year. That's a little bit of hearsay. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I would rather lose with Greene than lose with Doege because Dage's turnovers are killing us, and that's a fifth-year senior, and Lord forbid they're saying he's going to be eligible to come back next year. I mean, let's pray to God not. Let's pray to God he graduates and moves on because Jarrett Doege, I mean, you're topped out at 6-7 wins with Doege at the helm. I mean, there's a reason he only got one offer coming out of high school. It was from Bowling Green, a MAC school. And Garrett Greene was an Elite 11 quarterback. I mean, he's definitely more mobile, and he definitely if you're a defensive coordinator, who are you going to be more worried about facing? A guy who's mobile and can move out of the pocket like Garrett Greene or Jarrett Doege, who's a statue?
Hey,
So I think they'll use them both, but
trying to think, drew a complete blank. So I feel like, man, you would have to. I mean, I understand the whole recruiting aspect of it and everything, but man, your season's still pretty salvageable. And I don't think Doege is going to be the guy. I mean, there's a fifth-year dude making freshman mistakes.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that's definitely not going to win you games. And like I said, you could easily be at least a one-loss team at worst. And I'd give the kid a chance. It seems like anytime he gets in the game, that read option, and you go back to any team in college, having to study for a run option quarterback, it adds another dimension to the offense. and that's another thing the defense has to hold accountable for.
Yep.
So I feel like you kind of have to almost.
Mhm.
But I mean, we'll see. I'd be curious to see how they come out in this game. I mean, you're setting at 2-3 right now. I mean, I'm curious to see how they come out if they're ready to play or not.
We're gonna win the fucking game. The line tells me everything I need to know. Whenever they make that line 3, a
Mm-hmm.
4-1 Baylor team's only laying 3 at home against a West Virginia team who just got embarrassed. West Virginia's gonna win this game. They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna play good defense, and I really, really like West Virginia. I mean, the line says it all. They're begging you to bet Baylor,
Okay.
and
You have a prediction on the score or anything like that?
I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I'm saying 24, 24, 24-19 West Virginia.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, we'll talk next week when you come on. We'll talk some more WVU and everything like that. Um, did you real quick before we go on? Did you catch the Notre Dame game, the Cincinnati Notre Dame game?
I did.
You did.
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, you
I
didn't.
didn't watch. No, I didn't.
Hey man,
But
Notre Dame's got to go to Blacksburg this weekend. So I have Notre Dame losing that game actually. I mean, look, hey, Virginia Tech's a couple yards away from being undefeated right now. Probably a top 10
mhm.
team. So we'll see on that one. But moving on to the to your picks. So what besides WVU and everything, what game? We'll start off with college first. What games are you looking at this week?
I like Alabama versus Texas A&M. In the offseason, Jimbo Fisher was talking shit about, oh, this is the year we beat Bama, or said something, and you don't fucking give a team like Alabama more bulletin board material. You saw Miami's quarterback, Garrett King, do that early in the season. You saw how that worked out for him as they crushed Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, it sounds square to take him every week, but every week if you take Alabama in the under, it's hitting around 75, 80%. You know, they're going to come out and they're going to stomp A&M. So you grab that line, it's going to be -9, -10 for the first half. Bama's going to roll. Texas A&M doesn't have the weapons on the outside, and they don't have the quarterback to score on Bama. And Bryce Young, I mean, the dude's got the easiest job in the world. He's got 12 seconds in the pocket every time he drops back to throw. So I think Alabama's going to
Oh yeah.
roll A&M.
I
The
had
line's 17. So
yeah, I had I was really looking forward to this game early in the season. Like if you would ask me back in August, like man, what's some of the games you're looking forward to? I was like, man, October, Texas A&M because Texas A&M was a top 10 team. You know, coming
yeah,
off I think they what 9-1 last year, and
hmm
I thought they were actually going to stand a chance, and I know they had a little bit of injuries, I believe, but yeah, I think Alabama rolls honestly. What else are you looking at?
I like Georgia first half versus Auburn. I don't. Georgia's front four is the best in football. And Bo Nix is going to have a hard time. Bo Nix is going to be running for his life, and he's going to be asking the coach to take him out. It's going to get ugly. I mean, Georgia, I think you said they're allowing 4.6 points per game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just incredible. Georgia's going to roll Auburn first half.
Ooh.
And I'm not too sold on Georgia's quarterback, but he's kind of like a game manager. He does what's needed, and they kind of just live off their defense and the run game. And I expect Georgia to win that game 35-7 type of
Okay.
game.
So you think they score? Because here's another stat for you too. Georgia's only allowed one touchdown all season.
Wow.
One touchdown, man. And I think that was garbage time against South Carolina. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, I
And
mean, listen, Kirby got them boys rolling.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like I was a favor of Georgia early on. I was the Clemson game kind of got me skeptical on the offensive side of the ball, and even with JT Daniels out last week, I mean that run game came in. I mean
Mhm.
that run game. If they get that run game going, along with that defense, better watch out, Bama. I'm not saying they could win, but it's gonna be a good one. I hope they do play. But who else? Who else are you looking at college wise? You got any more?
Let me see what else I'm looking at here. I, Speaking of that, I can't recall a season where I've seen Georgia and Alabama at top two, and then after that it just drops off. I mean, Clemson's not there, Ohio State's not the same. I mean, it's pretty clear those teams are going to be playing for the national championship. But I like I like Texas. I think they'll win the game. The line's Texas is getting 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think Texas wins the game straight up versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma's lucky to be undefeated right now. Riddler's not the guy they thought he was. He was supposed to be a Heisman quarterback, and versus West Virginia, his own fans were chanting for the backup 5-star recruit. So I think Texas, their running back, Bijan Williams or I think
Bijan,
that's
Bijan.
Bijan Robinson. I mean, the
Yeah,
guy's
man.
just. I think he's going to run the ball, and I think Texas gets the win this the Red River rivalry.
Man, I think we agree. I think every one of your picks so far, I agree on. So far, minus the WVU one, I agree on every single one you've hit. I mean, I think. I mean, Oklahoma is lucky. I mean, they barely escaped Tulane. They barely escaped WVU. Nebraska gave them a run for their money. Kansas State even last week. I mean, it's going to eventually catch up with them now. Can the offense finally get there? I mean, it's eventually going to happen, I think. But, man, Texas right now, I'm not saying Texas is back or anything, but Texas don't look bad this year. They really don't. Chase Thompson, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think they made a switch because he didn't even start against Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like Texas in that. I really do. They get their first win since 2018. Hey, man, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. What was I going to say here? Oh, tomorrow night actually for a bonus game. Got Houston, Dana Holgorsen in Houston at Tulane. The line's 6. I think Tulane has a shot to win the game. I think Tulane's going to cover that game. Tulane played Oklahoma tough. They only lost by 5 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm not. I know Holgerson's 4-1 right now. I don't think they've played anybody that good. I expect Tulane to get a little bit rowdy on a Thursday night. And who's Houston's quarterback? Clay Toon. How long's he been there? 17 years. Fucking Perry Ellis of college football. But,
I forgot all
but
about him, actually.
I do like Tulane and the Green Wave or whatever the fuck they're called to cover the spread tomorrow and potentially win that game on a Thursday night.
Okay. I know. Trying to think. I think that's. Are you looking at anything on the Penn State Iowa game or anything? Or
Penn State, Iowa. I haven't watched either team that much this year. The over/under is 40.5, I believe.
okay.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
I know both defenses are good, but that's pretty low.
I think. I want to say it was at 3 earlier. I want to say. Don't. I mean, I know it's probably changed maybe a little bit, but let me.
It's I believe Penn State's +2 right now.
Plus, okay. Yeah, it sounds about right. They must have went. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah, I like Penn State in that. I
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Iowa's all now. Iowa's defense. I did see this. They have, and this is a crazy stat for you. 3 of the last 4 seasons on their defensive side of the ball, they have caused more interceptions than passing touchdowns. 3 of the last 4 seasons.
Wow.
That defense has. And that's what doomed Iowa State. That's what doomed Maryland. That Maryland game on Friday, I had them on upset alert. I thought going into Maryland, especially how Maryland had been playing, I think, talk about Lola, I think he threw like 5 picks.
Yeah, he threw 4 in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, I don't care who you are. You gotta make them drive the length of the field. You know, Iowa's offense is like somewhere in the 60s, 70s range, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too impressed with them. I mean, their defense is elite, but
they got a good coach, the Kirk, whatever Fuentes. He's an underrated coach. I like Iowa. That's going to be a good game. It's going to be a sloppy game. I think this is the best defense Penn State's had in years. So I would definitely take the underdog if I were taking. I would take Penn State, but that'll be a good one. Top 5 matchup, 3 and 4. So
trying to see what the I'm looking up the. I had it pictured in my head earlier. Yeah, it's down to 1.5 now.
Okay.
For the spread, and also would you take the over under on this 41? If you were going to bet on it, what would you take? Over under.
I would take the over just because of you said Iowa. You touched on Iowa turning the ball over. If they get some picks, get some short fields. I mean, it doesn't have to do too much. Maybe a pick six or something to hit that over. So I
Okay.
would lean the over, but I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Man, that's enticing because I was thinking this game would be like a 17-13 game, 17-14 game, 20-17 game. It's got that written all over it, especially with these
Yeah, very well.
defenses only allowing 13, 14 points a game.
Hmm.
We'll see. But moving on to the NFL before we wrap up and everything, what all NFL games you looking at this week?
Thursday night, it's my best bet of the weekend. As you can see, I'm actually a Seahawks fan. Um, we got the Rams at Seahawks. I have the Rams -2.
Mm-hmm.
It's my largest play of the weekend. It's a bad matchup for Seattle. Seattle matches up well with the Niners. Russell Wilson's gone to San Fran and won plenty of times there as an underdog as he did this weekend. They only had 250 yards in the win. Um, when this Seattle offensive line's facing Aaron Donald, that's not a good matchup for Seattle's O line, and um, you got Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf a little nicked up right now. They got some injuries. I think Jalen Ramsey is gonna lock down Metcalf,
Mm.
and Seattle's defense just is not that good. I think the Rams are gonna run the ball, and the Rams are gonna run play action, and the Rams are gonna win the game. I think the Rams will win by 31-21 is what I have it. And Pete Carroll, he's not the coach he once was. I mean, you take Russell Wilson off this team, and the Seattle Seahawks are a 4 or 5 win team. Russell Wilson really has saved Carroll in a lot of ways, and
Mm-hmm.
the Rams have a good pass rush. Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, and Seattle's O line is not very good. It's not a good matchup. The Rams are going to run the ball. The Rams are going to throw the ball. Seattle has a weak secondary. Cooper Kupp's going to be running all over the field. Tyler Higbee, Robert Woods. Maybe Deshaun Jackson gets in there for a deep shot. Um, Matt Stafford. I know Seattle is 9-1 on Thursday Night Football against the spread. Russell Wilson's really good in prime time, but this is a tough matchup for Seattle, and you get value with the line because Seattle won at San Fran last week, and then the Rams got blown out to the Cardinals last week, and Rams are going to be fine. I think that was more of a letdown spot after they beat the Bucks. It was kind of a letdown spot with the game coming up on Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and I expect the Rams to win double digits. It's my best play of the weekend. I know these teams very well. Games are won in the trenches, and also Carlos Dunlap, Seattle's best pass rusher. He's doubtful for the game, so I doubt he plays. So Matt Stafford's going to have all day to sit in the pocket, and that doesn't fare well for Seattle's defense.
Okay. Man, I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be a good weekend. I think it's
Oh yeah.
NFL wise. Um, real quick before we do go, what did you think about Tom Brady come back to New England?
Um, I know anytime 99% of the money is on one side, which it was. Oh, Tom Brady. You had people who haven't bet a game their whole life putting their hard-earned money on Tom Brady. Oh, they're gonna smack him. They're gonna smack him. I was on New England in that game. Um, had him plus 6.5. Had the under. The
Mm-hmm.
Bucks secondary, man. The Bucks secondary is garbage. You had Richard Sherman out there who hasn't played a game. He was on skates out there. They were throwing at him every single time.
Oh yeah.
New England's I mean, they're 1-3. They're the best 1-3 team in the NFL right now. They could easily be 3-1, a missed field goal, and then a fumble in the red zone versus Miami. But I think Belichick wanted that game. He took away those inside throws that Brady likes to do, those little slant routes. And, um, Brady's still a 44. What is he? Is he 43 or 44?
I think
43.
43. I think 43 maybe. He's
Brady's
up there. Yeah.
he's
It's
still up there. I mean, not
yeah.
having Gronk was big,
Yeah. I
and
mean, yeah. I really was expecting. Now, I think that was right before Gronk was like, I'm out. That would have helped out. But Belichick knowing exactly, I mean, he's coached him for 20 years. I mean, you know every ins and outs of this guy.
mhm.
Brady's still the greatest. I mean, the greatest. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty good game. I was hoping New England would lose, and I thought they would get their ass whooped. That was just me. But
Everybody thought that. Everybody thought
yeah,
that.
but yeah, man. That's all we got for today. But I thank you for coming back on. We'll get back on next week and everything like that, and we'll talk some WVU Baylor. And who do they got after Baylor?
To be honest, I'm not even sure. I just know West Virginia is going to win this game. I'm going to be putting my money on it, which I don't like doing on West Virginia, but I'm very convinced West Virginia is going to go to Baylor, go to Waco, win this fucking game. Very
Okay.
convinced the Rams are going to be. Very convinced the Rams are going to beat Seattle. So money line parlay them if you have to. Get your money. Um, I want to say Texas. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
They got they're on a bye week next week,
Okay.
and then they go to at TCU after that for week 8.
Even more reason to like West Virginia in this game. I mean, if we lose, if we go 2-4 into the bye, you've got 2 weeks of hearing about, Neil Brown being on the hot seat and all this, all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
West
think this is a
Virginia's
must
going to
win.
win.
It's a must win.
It is a must win, and we're going to come out. I still have faith in Brown. If Jared Doege doesn't turn the ball over, give the ball away 3 times, West Virginia's going to win the game.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it next week and everything. Everyone, I do want to thank Curtis King for coming back on. We'll see you all next week.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.